Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 62 of Before My Morning Coffee, the show where you get to just listen to my morning musings before I have caffeinated. Now, this morning, I woke up and the theme of the day appeared to be joy. So I wanted to chat a little bit more about joy and what that looks like and how it can just be maybe looked at a little differently in your life today. And perhaps it could have the power to change everything. A few days ago, a friend of mine and I were chatting. She's my prayer sister, so we talk every weekday morning. And she said, "Lisa, are you always in this space of just roll with it, this peace and calm and okay, great, Because she's like, it seems like 95% of the time you are. And I laughed and said, no, it's probably 80% of the time that I am. Dropping those numbers of satisfaction, an ability to roll with things down another 15%. And it makes me wonder, why on earth I advocated for an additional 15% of unease, of dissatisfaction, of resistance, and what was going on there. So I sat with that, and I've been sitting with it. Obviously, here we are, we're a few days later, I'm still thinking about it. And it says in the book that I'm reading, still again, happy pocket full of money. Joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. And that's a quote by Marianne Williamson. If you resist a moment, you will not be happy with it. If you are resisting how things are, you will not experience joy. And what we resist persists. What it is that we are unwilling to think differently about continues. And I think this right now, in the world today, this is an important thing to look at and think of. If you look for evidence that it is good, you will find joy. Keep it simple. Yesterday, a friend watched my live stream on social media. I was baking cookies and just kind of chatting about the day and how it was going and what they were working on and, where's everybody at and what's happening. And I said, if you guys need to chat, reach out. And so she did. And we ended up spending an hour or so on a video call, just both of us going on about our business. And, I was continuing to bake cookies and she was doing laundry and we were just chatting back and forth. And it was interesting because she was feeling good about where she was, the choices that she had made. And then had a well-meaning friend send her a bunch of news articles and statistics and things. So she was reading the news and getting scared and falling into this place of fear, like, oh, anything that I thought that I saw that was good was actually fearful. And really there's all these more things to be afraid of. Wow. That yawn is a sign that maybe I could have used my coffee before I pressed record this morning. And so as you start to delve into the news and then you click on more links and you read more links and then you you start to see how many more people are affected by this, and you kind of go down this rabbit hole. And I don't know many people that read the news and feel powerful, that immerse themselves in hours and hours of world events, politics, coronavirus, and feel informed, educated, powerful, and able to go about their business with more enthusiasm. In fact, I think, at least for me, because let's face it, the only person I'm the closest to being an expert on is me. And there are days where I'm not even qualified as that. But at least for me, when I spend time reading the news, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm in this place of fear. This feels very big. It feels very hard for us to come back from. My mind cannot even fathom how it is that we will recover from this, how we will bounce back from this when I spend time reading and looking at all of this. And yet, I do not feel empowered. I do not feel encouraged. I do not feel like, oh, now that I have this information, I can go forth and do great things. No, like it just feels shitty. So when I choose to find evidence that good things are happening, when I look for evidence that it is good, you will have joy. Well, then where is it that I can look for evidence that it is good? I am seeing it in so many places in the business community, so many places within our community, so many people that are reaching out, so many creative things are happening, so much art is being created, so much love is being expressed. People are taking time to nourish and nurture their health, their physical bodies. They're tapping deeper and deeper into Source, Spirit, God. They are loving what they have. They are taking less things for granted. The evidence for good is overwhelming. And I love that. And when I tap into that, then I feel good. Then I feel good. So in the book that I'm reading, it talks about, like, do you have a circumstance or an appearance of reality that you are resisting? It could be your body shape. It could be a relationship. It could be your bank account. It could be your job. It could be, you name it. It could be a friendship, a business, a lack of a business, all these things. It could be any one of them or many of them. And it says, if we stop resisting, accept it, bring it to light, love it, look at it with detachment. And there was an episode I did earlier this month on detachment. It will reveal its secrets to you and let you go. It will shift and it will change. When you express yourself, your desires, you will have joy. When you do not, you will have sadness. And I think that is so true. It is so true. When we hide parts of ourselves, when we shame and blame and keep ourselves in the dark, we become dissatisfied, disengaged, unhappy. Joy is our true nature. Joy is our true nature. So I talked before about my husband had written this book and this course around men's marriage formula, and there were always relationship books hanging around, and he was probably trying to give me a hint, but whoops, took me some time to catch on. And one of the books talks about in a relationship when you want the other person to change. Relationships are like algebra. And you can want the other person to change, and you can spend a lot of time in that place of wanting. Now, again, I'm paraphrasing. It likely didn't say all of this, but it might have. But this is that book that I can't remember the title to, and a paraphrase from that. So from Elisa Filter. We can spend a lot of time wanting someone else to change. And a lot of energy fixated on how we want them to change. But the fastest way to see change in that relationship is to change ourselves. Because like algebra, when one side of the equation changes, everything changes. And when I was thinking about this morning, as I sat in meditation, reading, meditation, reflection, all of this, I realized it's the same with circumstance. We can spend so much time wanting that circumstance to change. So much energy wanting that circumstance to change. And yet, that can take forever. It can feel like it takes forever. And if we change ourselves, our opinion, when we choose our judgment around that, when we choose from a place of love than a place of fear, everything on both sides of the equation changes. How cool is that? How cool is that? To me, it absolutely blows my mind. And I am so grateful when I look at it, when I think of it that way. It excites me. There are some circumstances and situations in my life right now that feel heavy and they feel hard. That I am resistant to them being the way that they are. I am resistant to their current appearance. Can you feel me right now? Can you think of a thing in your life, a circumstance, a situation, a relationship, whatever it might be, that is a certain way that you might be resistant to its current presentation? If I change my mind about it, if I change my thoughts around it, if I drop the judgment, everything around that will change. So I'm super excited about that. I'm able to be really excited about these circumstances and these situations that I am feeling resistant to, because I know that I have it within my control to change it. Because I can change me. I can change me, my thoughts on it, the quality of thoughts I think on it, the way I feel about it. I can go back to that, stop resisting, accept it, bring it to light, love it, look at it with detachment, and it will reveal its secrets and let me go. Today, as you go about your day, look for evidence that it is good, and you will have joy. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Mother Teresa says it's not how much you do, but how much love you bring into sharing and doing that's truly important. So in these times where we're like, oh my gosh, I should be doing all these things, what if it's not that? What if what our job was today and tomorrow and maybe the next day was, and maybe for every day, we didn't focus on how much we were doing, but instead how much love we were bringing to it. I wish you a day as beautiful as you. I'm sending you so much love from my rebel heart to yours. I'd love to carry on the conversation. You can find me on Facebook, Lisa Fried Tea. You can send me an email, friedtealisa@gmail.com. So much love. Have a day as beautiful as you, and I'll be back again tomorrow before my morning coffee.